Part 1. The First Contact. Light years away from Earth, in a distant galaxy, there exists a race known as the Qatari. The Qatari are an ancient and wise species, known throughout the universe for their incredible intelligence and advanced technology. They have observed countless civilizations rise and fall, and have long taken it upon themselves to monitor the development of younger species. It was this responsibility that brought one of their most respected scholars, Zivreth, to a small blue planet on the edge of the Milky Way galaxy, Earth. The Qatari were curious about humanity, a species that had only recently begun to venture into space. They had detected radio signals, observed the primitive satellites orbiting the planet, and watched as humans sent robotic probes to nearby planets. For the most part, the Qatari found humanity unremarkable, yet intriguing in their persistence and creativity. But there was one aspect of human civilization that utterly perplexed them: the airplane. Zivreth was dispatched to Earth with a singular mission: to study these flying machines that humans relied upon so heavily. The Qatari had mastered space travel eons ago, moving through the cosmos with a grace and efficiency that was beyond human comprehension. The idea of flying within a planet's atmosphere using combustion engines seemed archaic and inefficient to the Qatari, yet humans seemed to embrace it with fervor. As Zivreth's ship approached Earth, it cloaked itself from all human detection systems. The Qatari ship was a marvel of engineering, sleek and elegant, able to blend seamlessly into its surroundings or disappear entirely. Zivreth marveled at the blue-green beauty of the planet as it descended into the atmosphere, eventually settling near one of Earth's busiest airports. Zivreth assumed a human-like form, adapting to the environment with ease. With its appearance indistinguishable from the people around it, Zivreth began to explore the airport. It observed the bustling activity, the endless lines of people waiting to board their flights, the huge planes parked at gates, and the ceaseless noise of engines and announcements. The airport was a hive of activity, a place where people from all walks of life converged, all with the shared goal of reaching their destinations. But Zivreth could not understand why humans chose to fly in these clunky, noisy machines. The Qatari had long since abandoned such primitive means of transportation, favoring silent, efficient, and environmentally friendly methods. Zivreth found the entire concept of air travel both fascinating and absurd. Part 2. Boarding the flight. Determined to understand this aspect of human life, Zivreth decided to experience a flight firsthand. It purchased a ticket using the human currency it had synthesized upon arrival, choosing a long-haul flight that would allow ample time for observation. The ticketing process was itself a strange ritual, involving identification, payment, and the collection of boarding passes. Zivreth marveled at the complexity of it all. Once aboard the plane, Zivreth found itself in a cramped cabin filled with rows of seats, each occupied by a human with various expressions of anticipation, anxiety, or boredom. The air inside was stale, recycled countless times to maintain pressure at high altitudes. Zivreth took a seat by the window. Its curiosity piqued as it watched the ground crew prepare the plane for takeoff. As the engines roared to life, Zivreth felt the entire plane shudder. It had never experienced anything like this. The vibrations, the noise, the sheer force required to move such a large object into the sky. The plane slowly taxied to the runway, and then, with a deafening surge of power, it began to accelerate. Zivreth felt the pressure build as the plane lifted off the ground, the sensation of leaving the Earth behind unlike anything it had felt before. For the first time, Zivreth understood a small part of why humans might find air travel exhilarating. The moment of liftoff, that sudden departure from the ground, was a physical manifestation of the human desire to rise above, to transcend their earthly limitations. Even if the method was crude by Qatari standards, the experience was undeniably powerful. Zivreth was particularly fascinated by the way humans occupied themselves during the flight. They had created an entire ecosystem of in-flight entertainment designed to distract and amuse during the long hours in the air. The movies, music, and games available were varied, catering to all kinds of tastes. Zivreth explored these options, finding the content to be both enlightening and bizarre, a window into the human psyche. Yet despite the distractions, there was no escaping the discomfort of air travel. The seats were cramped, the food was unremarkable, and the constant hum of the engines created a background noise that was impossible to ignore. Zivrath found the entire experience taxing, wondering how humans could endure such conditions for hours on end. Part 3. Unexpected turbulence. Several hours into the flight, Zivrath experienced something it had not anticipated: turbulence. The plane suddenly began to shake, jostling the passengers in their seats. The fasten seatbelt sign illuminated, and the flight attendants quickly moved through the cabin, ensuring everyone was secure. Zivrath felt the plane dip and sway as it passed through a patch of rough air. The sensation unlike anything it had ever felt before. For the first time, Zivrath experienced a flicker of what humans might call fear. The realization that this massive, complex machine was at the mercy of the elements, that even with all their technology, humans could not control the forces of nature, was a humbling experience. Zivrath understood now why some humans feared flying. There was an inherent risk, a vulnerability that was both terrifying and thrilling. As the turbulence subsided, Zivrath observed the passengers around it. Some looked visibly shaken, while others seemed unfazed, accustomed to the unpredictability of air travel. It was a stark reminder of humanity's resilience, their ability to face fear and uncertainty with a remarkable calmness. Zivrath couldn't help but admire the way they handled the situation, even as it found the experience unsettling. The plane continued on its journey, eventually reaching calmer skies. Zivrath took this time to reflect on what it had learned. Air travel, for all its flaws, was a testament to humanity's ingenuity and determination. They had taken a dream, one that had existed for millennia, and turned it into a reality, even if the execution was imperfect. The Qatari might have mastered space travel, but humanity had accomplished something equally impressive in their own right. Part 4. A glimpse of humanity. As the plane began its descent, Zivrath felt a strange sense of connection to the humans around it. They were not perfect, their technology was flawed, their methods inefficient, but there was something endearing about their persistence. They were driven by a desire to explore, to connect with others, to push beyond their limitations. It was a quality that Zivrath had seen in countless species throughout the galaxy, but there was something uniquely human about it, something that made them special. The plane touched down with a jolt, and the passengers let out a collective sigh of relief. The flight was over, but the journey was not yet complete. Zivrath followed the other passengers through the terminal, watching as they reunited with loved ones, retrieved their luggage, and prepared to continue their travels. There was a sense of accomplishment in the air, a feeling that, despite the discomforts, the journey had been worth it. Zivrath found a quiet corner of the airport and reflected on its experience. The Qatari had much to learn from humanity, not just about their technology, but about their spirit. Humans were not content to stay in one place. They had an insatiable curiosity, a drive to explore that could not be easily quenched. It was this quality more than any technology that made them remarkable. Part 5. The Departure. With its mission complete, Zivrath prepared to return to its home planet. It had gathered a wealth of information, not just about human technology, but about the people themselves. As it ascended into the sky, leaving Earth behind, Zivrath felt a sense of satisfaction. The Qatari would no longer see humanity as a primitive species. They would recognize them for what they truly were: innovative, resilient, and full of potential. As Zivrath's ship left Earth's atmosphere, it sent a report back to the Qatari Council. The message was simple: humans are not to be underestimated. Their technology may be crude, but their spirit is extraordinary. They have much to learn, but they are on a path that could lead them to greatness. We must continue to observe, but also to support their growth when the time is right. And with that, Zivrath began its journey home, carrying with it the lessons it had learned on a small blue planet called Earth. The Qatari would continue to watch over humanity, but now with a new understanding and respect for the species that dared to dream of flight, even when the skies seemed out of reach.